Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
Okay, let's dive right in. We are all surrounded by these invisible systems, ones that are constantly designed to influence our choices, from what we buy all the way to what we believe. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden algorithms of control that are shaping our lives, from the most personal level to a planetary one.
You see, modern influence isn't about brute force. It's subtle, it's sophisticated, and most of the time, it feels just like our own free will. And that's really the heart of what we're exploring here. Control works best when it doesn't feel like control at all.
To really understand these massive systems of social engineering, we've got to start small. I mean, really small. We have to start with the most vulnerable unit of all, the individual human mind. Let's kick things off with a classic scenario in obedience. It shows just how easily and how quickly we can hand over our own better judgment to someone who simply looks like they're in charge. Now, that lab coat is just a piece of fabric, but it's such a powerful symbol. It just screams authority, science, knowledge, and it sends this immediate, reassuring signal to your brain. Don't worry, someone else is responsible here. But that calm voice just insists it's all essential for the experiment. And here's the trap. Each time you comply, it gets psychologically harder and harder to stop. Your own brain actually starts working against you, building a story to justify why you're doing it because, well, you've already started. And that right there, that's the whole trick. See, obedience isn't some single big decision. It's a chain of tiny, seemingly harmless yeses. You're not thrown into the deep end. You're just gently led down a ramp, one step after another, until turning back feels almost impossible. Okay, so let's take this out of the lab and into the real world, because these simple psychological buttons aren't just for experiments. Oh no, they're weaponized every single day in sales, in politics, in our relationships, all to get us to say yes without even thinking about it. This one is wired deep into our social DNA. When someone gives us something, could be anything, we feel this almost automatic, kind of uncomfortable need to give something back. We're just hardwired to want to settle the score. That small, free thing, it creates an invisible debt. It's a precision tool designed to make you just a little more pliable, triggering your sense of fairness so you feel obligated to say yes later on. It's a leash, guiding you exactly where they want you to go. Now, this isn't about aggression. It's actually much sneakier than that. It's about making you feel seen, special, and even indebted through warmth and affection. The real control comes from the threat, the implied threat of taking that affection away, which feels way worse than a simple disagreement. It feels like betrayal. And this gives us the critical test, the one that separates a real connection from a strategic one. Does the kindness have strings attached? Does it evaporate the second you assert yourself and say, no? Answering that question is how you tell affection from manipulation. So, what's really fascinating is how these one-on-one psychological tricks get scaled up. We're now moving from manipulating a single person to engineering systems that can shape the consent of entire populations. In their groundbreaking propaganda model, Chomsky and Herman identified these 5 filters that all mainstream news has to pass through. And this isn't about some conspiracy in a smoke-filled room. It's about the very structure of the system itself, from who owns it to who pays the bills, which naturally filters out certain ideas and promotes others. A really stark example of this model in action was the run-up to the 2003 Iraq War. Media outlets relying heavily on official government sources and operating inside that patriotic filter amplified claims that later turned out to be false. And by doing so, they effectively manufactured the public's consent for the invasion. So fast forward to today, those same principles of control, they haven't gone anywhere. They've just evolved. They've gone digital, they've been automated, creating a system that operates at a scale and a speed that propaganda ministers of the past could have only dreamed about. I mean, just look at this. The goals are basically the same, but the methods have become brutally efficient. Where the CIA's MKUltra program once explored drugs for mind control, now algorithms use our own data to nudge our behavior. Where Operation Mockingbird secretly planted stories, now algorithms amplify viral content instantly. The job hasn't changed, just the employee. It's all automated. And this is the economic engine that makes it all run, a term given to us by the scholar Shoshana Zuboff. In this system, you're not the customer. You're not even the product. You are the raw material. Your life, your clicks, your likes, your location, your fears is the oil fields. And it's being mined to create products that not only predict your future behavior, but actively shape. So what does this algorithmic beast actually feed on? This chart tells you pretty much everything. These systems do not care about truth. They don't care about nuance or understanding. They care about one thing and one thing only: engagement. And nothing keeps us more engaged than high-octane emotions like outrage. Simplicity spreads faster than complexity. Fear spreads faster than calm. So the system learns to feed us what works, creating this endless feedback loop of polarization. Okay, so when you're faced with a system this huge, this automated, is genuine choice even possible anymore? Well, the answer is yes, but it requires a new kind of awareness. It requires us to learn how to spot the script and start asking the right questions. We are neurologically wired to trust a calm, confident speaker. But you have to remember that calm is often a performance, a costume for sincerity that can make deception almost invisible. Learning to separate the message from the delivery, that's step one to breaking the spell. This question is your personal shield against that reciprocity principle. That pause, just that simple moment of self-reflection, it breaks the automatic response. It creates a little bit of breathing room between their hook and your reaction, giving you back the power to choose deliberately, not out of some manufactured debt. We've all been there, right? Just endlessly scrolling. The next time you find yourself in that trance, pause and ask this: are you being pulled by your own genuine curiosity, or are you being pushed by the platform's design? An algorithm that profits from showing you what everyone else is enraged about today. And this, right here, this is the kill switch. The fear of being left behind is a primal, powerful social instinct, and the algorithm knows it. The moment you ask yourself this question, you separate your own authentic interest from the system's agenda. You stop reading their script, and you start writing your own. Because the algorithm of control is powerful, for sure, but it all depends on one thing: you not realizing you're playing the game.